Hi, it's Dan from EUjuicer.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sana by Omega EUJ-606. Now, late last year, we introduced this model. This is the 707, and right away, this became the best-selling horizontal juicer on the market. Now, in response to consumer demand, we decided to release this model as well, and it's differentiated mainly by this right here, the Pulp Regulation knob. Now, the 606 is available in three beautiful colors. You have the silver here, you've got the chrome, and you've got the red. So let's take a closer look at the 606. So let's take a look at the accessories that come with the 606. Now, first of all, here is your drum. This is going to attach to the motor, and you have your extra large feeding tube here. This is where you're going to put all your fruit and vegetables and other things. Here's your food pusher with a silicone ring. That's going to rub the sides very tightly, make sure no food gets stuck in there. Here is your drum cap. Let's open that up here. Attached is the Pulp Regulation knob. We'll talk about that in more detail soon. Inside you see the strainer. This is a dual stage strainer. The juice comes through here initially, then through this fine stainless steel sieve here. And this is what you're going to use to make your juice. Let's put that back on here. And if you're not going to juice, but if you're going to be homogenizing, you're going to be compressing other products together, like your nut butters, your pasta, your baby food, things like this, you're going to use this. This is the blank screen. This is one distinguishing feature of this. You notice there is no hole here. Juice isn't going to come out of here, but everything's going to come out directly into here, into your pulp catcher here. Here are your caps, your nozzles that you're going to use with this. Here's some nozzles you're going to use for different sizes of spaghetti. If you want flat noodles, we have a nozzle for that. And finally, we have your standard nozzle. This is what you'll use for your nut butters, your baby food, your banana smoothies, things like that. Also, we have your brush here. This is going to clean everything up when you're all done. And we have your pitcher here. This is going to catch all your juice. This is going to catch your pulp, or like I said, when you're making your nut butters and things, it's all going to go here. So those are the accessories. It's real simple, standard set here. All right, now we're going to take a look at the pulp regulation system with the Sana juicer. First of all, the big advantage here is that this is the pulp regulation unit. It's very simple. Let's show you a typical standard pulp regulation unit. It's a little more complex. You can see it actually involves extra parts here, which makes it harder to clean. Maybe you'd be a little less likely to use it. Now, one thing you do need to know about our pulp regulation unit is it's not a universal standard. There's not one setting for each fruit. It really depends on the condition of the fruit. You know, if you get a pineapple that's still green, it's going to be a lot harder. You're going to use a higher setting. If you get a pineapple that's been sitting around, it's turned more yellow, it's a little more ripe, you'll use a lower setting. And we'll see that as we're juicing all these individual fruits and vegetables today. All right, let's start with some carrots. Now, carrots are a hard vegetable, so it's a real easy setting. We'll just put this here on 5. And that will get us our maximum juice. So I'll turn on the machine, and let's start juicing. So let's turn off our juicer here. And you see, that was fast and easy. So let's get our juice here, take a look at it in the glass. I want to slide this under to keep anything from coming out. So there's our nice glass of carrot juice, and now let's try it with some grapes. Okay, now it's time for grapes. Now grapes have a much higher juice content, lower pulp content, so we don't need that hard setting like we did for the carrots. So instead of 5, let's take it down to 1 or 2. And let's turn our machine on, start juicing. We'll just put them in individually. They practically self-feed. I probably won't even need the juice pusher, maybe a little just to keep them in place. All right, so very quickly we got a good quantity of juice here from those grapes. Let's go ahead and turn it off and take a look at this grape juice. All right, so there's our grape juice. Now let's try some leafy greens, and today we've got spinach, so let's try that out. All right, now let's take a look at some leafy greens. Today we have some spinach. Now, one way to get a little more juice out of this spinach, you can see there's not much pulp or content in one of these, is to soak it in water. What we did is soak it about 20-30 minutes, then rinse it out, and you're going to get a better juice content out of here. We've also set the regulator here. We had it at 1 for the grapes. Let's move it up to 5. That's going to get the maximum pressure because you need that to squeeze all the juice out. So let's go ahead and start it and start feeding some leaves into the feed tube. We'll help it along with the pusher here. All right, looks like we have plenty of juice here. So let's shut her down and take a look at what we have here. Let's get these last strips out, slide it under. So there you see our beautiful spinach juice. Look at that dark green color. Now let's get an orange color. Let's juice some oranges. All right, so here we've got some oranges. We're going to set the pulp regulator down to a light pressure setting, down to 1, because citrus has so much juice in it. And let's go ahead and start. All right, well, we're just about done. We very quickly got a lot of orange juice. This sauna juicer is very effective with the orange juice. So let's shut her down and take a look at what we've got. All right, so there is our glass of orange juice. Now let's go back to the hard vegetables and try out a beetroot. All right, so let's move on to beets here. Like the carrot, this is a hard root vegetable. So I'm going to turn the adjustment knob to 5 so I get that maximum squeezing, crushing pressure so we can get the most juice out of these. So let's take a look. All right, let's just put in one more piece. Looks like we've got plenty of juice. Keeping it at that 5 high pressure setting has really squeezed the maximum juice out. This pulp is quite dry. So let's shut it down and take a look at what we've got here. So there's our nice dark red glass of beet juice. Let's move back into the fruit world and do some green apples. So now we move on to some fruits. We've got apples. Generally speaking, the firmer the apple, the more juice you'll get out of it. So something real strong like a Granny Smith, you'll get a high quantity of juice out of it. We've got some Golden Delicious here today, kind of a medium apple, but let's see how we do getting some juice out with the sauna juicer. I'm going to change the knob here from 5 down to 2. make it not quite such a high pressure. Let's begin. So we're just about finished here. Turn off the machine and see what we've got from these golden delicious apples. Here's the juice from our golden delicious apples. Got a nice quantity very quickly. We'll move on now to tomatoes. Moving right along to tomatoes. Now the key to juicing tomatoes is you want to use these cherry tomatoes. They're smaller, they have less parts inside and fibers that could get tangled up. It's much more efficient this way. We're going to keep the pressure regulator here, the pulp regulator, at a setting of 2. Should be a good balance between free flow and pressure. Let's start. Now tomatoes can be a little tricky just because they're so pulpy and they've got fibers in there. So sometimes if the machine starts backing up a little, getting a little jammed, you can actually go to a lighter setting or even completely remove the pulp regulator and just continue with it. Looks like we have a good quantity of juice. We'll shut down the machine. And here's our tomato juice. Here's our nice, wonderful glass of tomato juice. We're going to move on now to pineapples. Moving right along, we've got our pineapples ready to go here. Now, keep in mind, pineapples can be a little tricky. They've got a really high juice content, but they also have a high fiber content, which causes problems for some juicers. Shouldn't be a problem for our EUJ-606. We're going to start out with a real low pressure setting just to keep things flowing through real well. And if we see that it's working out well, we can always turn up the pressure a little bit to get even more juice out. Let's begin. Worked fine. I actually turned the pulp regulator up to about 3 just to get even more juice. No problems at all. We'll shut her down. And here's our pineapple juice. So here's our glass of pineapple juice. Now it's time for pomegranates. Now we have pomegranates. Pomegranates take a little more work, but I think they're worth it because pomegranates juice tastes great and it's one of the healthiest things for you. We're going to set our pulp regulator at 4, give it a lot of pressure here to get the maximum amount of juice out of these guys. Here goes. That juiced really nicely. We got a lot of juice out of there very quickly. So here is our pomegranate juice. After this, we'll be doing cucumbers. Now we have the cucumbers. You see, we've peeled our cucumbers here. You don't have to. That's up to you. It's a personal preference. Cucumbers juice real easy. We're going to set it at a medium setting here at 3. Let's see what kind of results we get. I actually turned the pulp regulator up to 5 because it was juicing so easily. Let's take a look at this. It's a nice, beautiful color of green. So there it is. Look at that beautiful color of our cucumber juice. Let's move on now to watermelons. Well, as you can see, we're running out of space here, running out of room to put all this good juice. So we're going to finish with one of my favorites, watermelon. Now, watermelon has a high juice content, obviously. It's watermelon. So we can put our flow regulator, we're going to put it down to about 2. It's going to go through real fast. It's going to juice really well. Let's take a look. So as you can see, watermelon has a lot of liquid content. You can see that there's almost nothing that came out here in terms of the pulp, but look at all the juice we've got. Let's take a closer look at that juice. So there's our watermelon juice. That's all of our juices we've got here. What we're going to show you now is how quick and easy it is to clean the Sauna 606. All right, so now it's time for many people's least favorite part, cleaning. Actually, with the Sauna 606, it's quite easy to clean. I'm going to show you how easy it is. All you're going to be doing is rinsing the parts off. The only actual cleaning will be the strainer. That's what we have the brush for. So I'm going to take this whole assembly off here. And piece by piece, here's the pulp regulator. You're just going to rinse it off. Take off the cap here, rinse it off. We'll remove the strainer, as you can see. And with the strainer, this is where we'll use the brush. Things come out quite nicely. A few brushes on the inside, a few brushes on the outside. Rinse it all off. That's the hardest part. It's done. Take the auger right here. Just rinse it off again. That's done. And all we have left is this main unit here. Rinse it all off. Run the water through it. And we are clean. That's how easy it is to clean. We just ran the almonds through the blender. You can see the consistency here. We've broken them up into small pieces. And now we're going to put this into our Sauna 606. We've set the pressure regulator right about in the middle. I've got it at 3. And let's try it out. I actually adjusted the pulp regulator up to 5 just to get the maximum amount of almond milk out of here. As you can see, we got quite a bit. We have some nice dry, almost almond powder here. And here's our almond milk. And there's our glass of delicious, fresh, homemade almond milk. Now we'll try something a little different again, peanut butter. So now we're going to make peanut butter. Now to make peanut butter, we do need a slightly different unit in here. We have what we call the blank screen. There is no strainer because we're not trying to get any juice or oil out of the peanuts, but instead we're mixing it, we're homogenizing it all together. It's going to go through, and it's going to go out right through this little hole in this nozzle here. Now we're using just regular salted roasted peanuts. You want roasted peanuts, they have the best oil content. If you prefer creamier peanut butter, you can add a few tablespoons of peanut oil or even sunflower oil to make it come out with a little more lighter liquid consistency. So we're going to start it up. Going to put in some peanuts. So as you can see here, we have our peanut butter. Now what you might want to do is mix it together. This is another place where you can add the oil if you'd like. You can also just press it down into more of a buttery consistency. So that's our peanut butter. What we're going to do now, we'll leave in the blank plate here, and we're going to mix some bananas and strawberries into a baby food. You can put all kinds of things to make whatever baby food you like. So let's take a look at that. So now we're going to make some baby food. The thing with baby food, you're just mixing some ingredients together, something that would be good and healthy for your baby. But when you do it yourself, obviously, you can trust the quality of the fruits, the vegetables, even the meats. You could cook some chicken, mix it with some cooked potatoes and carrots. You could put in peas, beans. We're going to do some fruit here. You could do apple, pear, but we've got strawberries and bananas. We're going to keep the blank screen in there because we're not trying to extract any juice. We're just mixing this into a puree. So let's begin here. So occasionally you could get a little bit of juice dripping through. So I'm going to put the juice catcher just to be safe here. So we've mixed together our strawberries and bananas here. It's in a nice consistency for babies. I'm going to spoon some in, just like I would for a baby. I'll mix it together a bit here, and you'll see this nice consistency. So there we have our baby food, and now we're going to do something else with bananas, something with frozen bananas. We're going to make a nice dessert. Now we're going to make something a little special. We're going to make a little treat, a frozen dessert out of all these fruits. We've got blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, also frozen bananas, which is important to give it that real creamy consistency. So what you have is something with sort of the consistency of ice cream, but a lot healthier for you. So we've got the blank plate in here again. And we're just going to mix these all together. So there you see we have some frozen fruits all mixed together. Makes a real nice dessert. You can stir it around, depends on how you like your consistency. And you can actually scoop out a piece, depending on how frozen it is. And here you can see a nice scoop of frozen fruits. Something you might not expect from the Sauna 606 is that it can also grind coffee. So we're going to demonstrate that. We have the blank plate in here. We're just going to put some coffee beans in relatively slowly, and you'll see the ground coffee that comes out of here. So you can see here the coffee we have here. It's not exactly as finely ground as you would from a professional coffee grinder, but it's still ground quite nicely here. You can take a look at it. So now we're going to make some pasta. The EU-606 lets you extrude pasta from your own dough. We've made some dough here. It's also best, if you make homemade dough. What you can do is get a grain mill like this, get some actual whole wheat grains, and let me show you how that works. It's really simple. Just turn it on, put some in, and you see the flour coming out already. What we'll do, we would mix that with some eggs, and you will get a perfect, delicious homemade dough. What I'm going to do now is take our dough here, I'm going to wrap it into little balls. And with this, we will feed those into the sauna to make our spaghetti. All right, now let's go ahead and turn on the 606, and we'll feed the dough into it. So there you see, here's our spaghetti. It's quite dense here. You could use scissors, you could cut it into spaghetti sizes, go ahead and put it into your hot water. Or if you want, you could mount this up higher, put it on something higher, and directly shoot it into your boiling water. That's up to you. But again, another surprising feature of the sauna, make nice homemade spaghetti. So as you can see, this machine is very versatile. You can see all the things we've done today. We've juiced carrots, grapes, spinach, oranges, beets, apples, tomatoes, pineapple, pomegranate, cucumbers, watermelon. We also made almond milk. We ground coffee. We made a delicious frozen dessert from frozen fruits. We made baby food, peanut butter. We even made spaghetti. And also we will have available soon for you an oil extractor where you can take things like sesame seeds or flax seeds and make your own homemade sesame seed, flax seed, and other types of oils. So we hope you enjoyed the video talking about the sauna juicer by Omega, model number EUJ-606. And if you have any comments, please leave them below here or contact us at our website. That's eujuicers.com. Thanks for watching.